So hello, welcome to Wisdom Wednesday.
Hello, thank you very much for having me.
Welcome, Nilgun. This is episode 8, Nilgun. So we're very happy to have you here.
Thank you. Yeah, I watched the other ones. They're very good, actually. Thank you for doing this.
You're welcome. Today's topic is a bit interesting.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, honestly. And I think especially for you.
Yes, it is. Actually, when we were discussing which topic shall we pick, and then the change immediately came to my mind because I've been going through so many changes last 3.5 years, job-wise, country-wise, and everything. So I said, you know what, let's talk about change.
Mm-hmm. The golden question is change something negative or positive?
Yeah, that can depend on the situation, depend on the person. It can be negative or positive.
Mm-hmm.
So it's totally up to you, and also depends on the change you've been going through. It can be negative also. Sometimes there are changes happens out of our control, and they can be really bad, like losing someone you love, or losing your job, or the economic global crisis, etc. But that doesn't. I think the key is here how we respond to change is here, because it can be bad, it can be good, but how we choose to respond to change is the key. To get out of this change with something, with a learning, something new, or a new opportunity. What do you think? Or what
you said something very, very nice, and I think people who are watching my episodes, they will notice this. I keep saying this word. You said the choice. We have the choice what to do with this change, right? So believing that we have that choice is very powerful phrase by itself, right?
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be rosy and glamorous. It is painful. Of course, we are humans, and we have feelings towards change. It can be like fear, confusion, frustration, but that doesn't mean that it is bad. So I think we should stop also labeling things bad or good, because there is no such thing. There is only experience. And unfortunately, we have to experience whether it's bad or good. This is how the life is. So the change is inevitable. I think we have to accept that there is no way that we can avoid change. So the sooner we accept that, and then start being proactive instead of being reactive, or not wanting change, or just waiting the things will go back to the way it was used to be. We should start being proactive and accepting that the change is going to happen, whether we like it or not like it.
Yes. We have different types of change, right? We have internal change, we have external change. A lot of the things that we label as a change are external, avoiding the internal changes that are happening or happened already. We don't look inside, we don't reflect inside most of the time. Now, let's tackle it one by one. And I know they are very much related with each other. You cannot look at external change and deal with external change if you didn't work internally and handle the change within yourself, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So for example, I think they are both feeding each other. External change also leads to internal change leads external changes. I think they are very goes together. I think for what happens is sometimes the change is forced onto us, something we can't control. It just happens. You might lose your job, or something you didn't want or ask for. It can happen. Or sometimes you realize that you are not happy where you are and you just want to get out of your comfort zone and then look for something bigger and better, and then you might want to change, you might want to do some changes in yourself. Or sometimes the external changes, it can be good or bad, again we don't label them, we just say experience, and then that might cause you some internal changes. If we look at who we are, let's say 5 years ago, even 2 years ago, I'm sure you will notice that, you know, we have change also, because change is everywhere. Change is everywhere. You know, the moon cycle changes, the season changes, even our cells in our body, apparently every 7 years it changes.
Yes.
So our body changes. So that's why. So when this changes keeps happening, you need to decide and reflect on this. Okay, this change happened. How can I adapt myself? How can I build my resilience? And how can I cope with this change? And how can I embrace this change? So you started, you know, thinking and questioning yourself, and then that causes you that internal change that it makes you maybe stronger, maybe you learn something new, or maybe you meet some new people. So that definitely, or it changes your perspective, how you look at things, how it changes your mindsets. So I think internal and external change, they just go hand in hand together. But unfortunately, some people, the change might be very slow for them, but some people can be very fast. I think it depends on the person, how much you want to put yourself out of your comfort zone and feel the fear, but do it anyway, and make your fear to fuel you to, you know, shape your life and change the things maybe it doesn't serve you anymore, or your habits don't serve you anymore, and then make this, you know, doesn't have to be giant, but maybe small steps, so it can serve you and others in your life better.
I'll sum it up. So it's adaptability, how adaptable you are. Okay. And there's a drive. What is it that drives you? Is it strong enough to push you out of your comfort zone? Right.
Exactly.
If you don't have the proper driver, then you have to look for one. Find your driver, find something that pushes you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, because what makes you comfortable can ruin you. Because in a state of you know, discomfort, we can continuously grow, and we have to accept that, you know, we are here in this world to grow, you know, to grow, because because this is human need. It is in our DNA to grow and change, grow and change. So, and unfortunately, staying where you are and in your comfort zone, and it can be very uncomfortable, but still many people, they choose to stay in that uncomfortable situation. And we can talk about the reasons later on. But there is one thing we can say for sure, that staying in your comfortable can really ruin your life. And unless you feel this discomfort and still go for it, then only you can continuously grow.
Can we elaborate a little bit on this? I want to focus on this, because when you ask people, is everything okay? Yeah, everything is all right as it is. So it means good for them.
Yeah, it can be good at that time. It can be because it's comfortable. This is something they are familiar. They know there's no risk. There is no unpredictable, you know, things happening there, because our brain is wired to, you know, to keep us, you know, alive, so to survive. So that's why if we are in a situation where we know what is going on, we know the people, we know the situation, obviously you feel safe. And we want to feel safe as a human being, but and for a while that might serve you, but unless, you know, you try something, because unless you get out of your comfort zone, there you cannot know what are you capable of, because we cannot unlock our potential to see where we can actually go. So that's even this where we are might serve us. It's gonna start bothering us eventually. There is no way, you know, you one person who is in the same job, in the same position, the same relationship, and whatever it is gonna be able to happy unless something is changing or something new comes to their life. I don't believe that, you know, people can be happy, really happy. Yes, if they ask themselves deep down, I don't think anyone can be happy from where they stay. And even though they want to protect their statu quo, something will come. You know, there is no way that it can stay that way. Something will come and shake the boat. That's for sure. So if the person is so resistant to change, then when the boat, you know, shakes, then that means he or she is gonna take it very difficult to accept, you know, this new change and adapt to those new terms.
Yes, definitely. I think it's the mindset, right? So if my mindset is that I'm very comfortable now, I'm good where I am, I don't want to put a lot of effort to move on. I'm comfortable. This is good. Then what happens when you have a small shock or a small change in your life? You don't know how to deal with it. You're not prepared mentally. You might have psychological issues. You might have. I've seen people breaking down. Um, Being an HR, I have seen a lot of changes happening, so many changes, and I've seen how people actually react to it. Uh, I've seen people, especially when it comes to losing job. Okay, sometimes people take it like it's very big thing. Uh, and for some people, I've seen people that the moment they heard they're losing their job, the first thing came to their mind is, I'll be on the street tomorrow.
Yeah, usually the worst case scenario comes to our mind, which is true. Yeah.
Yes. So these people are not prepared. I have people that told me that I was in this job for 25 years. What do you want me to do now? Where should I go? What should I do? Completely unprepared. Being in the same situation, in the same position, same job for 25 years.
Yeah, and yeah, this is what I mean with being proactive. So you knew that this was gonna come eventually, because if you don't adapt yourself to changes, like by technology, if you don't learn new skills, if you don't learn, I don't know, maybe study again, or if you don't do this, what did you expect that you are going to be out of job eventually? Because technology is changing, the world is changing. So unless you keep adapting yourself for these changes, you are going to be out of job eventually. So this is it's like being reactive, like, no, okay, I'm going to wait and hope that nothing's going to happen and I will have my job forever. So this is what I mean when you want to be proactive. If you don't want to be out of your job, then you have to keep changing also. By learning things, or also if you, or also we should be able to see that what is happening in the market, so maybe accordingly do a career change. But most of the people, they don't want these changes because they find it risky, and always the worst case scenario comes to their mind, and immediately the fear kicks in, and then it just, like, you know, really it's like, you know, holds you back. But having said that, there's one thing I really want to acknowledge, and from my experience also. I have a therapist, and I was talking to her, and I told her, I am so unhappy on this. I want to change, and I know how to change. And it's really making me miserable. So how come I'm still not doing anything? You know, sometimes you might not know which steps you should be taking, but most of the cases we know which steps we should be taking in order to change. I said, what is the reason why still I choose to stay miserable? And she told me that we tend to endure the pain. that means, she said, you didn't suffer enough in
Mm-hmm.
order to make this change. I
Mm-hmm.
said, "No, I am suffering, but not enough for you to wake up one day and say, you know
Mm-hmm.
what,
Mm-hmm.
that's it. I'm changing this one." And that also showed me how much we are enduring pain, because this pain, something we know it, we are used to it, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
You
human
need
pain.
you need you need that little pain just to feel that things are normal, because you used to have having pain in your life.
Yeah,
So that little pain, it's good to have. It feels safe to have that pain because it's something that I'm used to. It reminded me with a very, very funny story.
yeah.
But ironically, it's very true. Exactly like your story. Um, there was a guy sitting in the garden. The rocking chair. So he
Mhm.
was on the rocking chair, and there was a dog next to him, and he was talking to his friend. So every time he does this, he will hear the dog saying, "Oh." Every time he does that, the dog again. "Oh." So his friend was very um, uh, upset. He's like, "What are you doing with the dog? Every time you do that, he just shout, but he never moves from there. Why is that?" He said, "Yeah, he never moves because it's painful, but it's not painful enough to make him move. He's lazy. So he rather sit and suffer that little pain than he actually move and change his location." And this is exactly what happens to a lot of us.
Yeah,
um, our body, our let's say subconscious mind is used to that little pain, maybe from childhood, maybe from the way we've been grown up. We've been programmed that little pain should be always there. It's good.
yeah, and we
So,
get addicted to that because in our head, leaving that situation is more difficult. What if, more risky? What if this happens? What if that happens? What if I actually regret, for making this change? What if it's worse than the, because sometimes, yes, it is risky, of course. Sometimes things not may work the way you want to.
yeah.
So unfortunately, instead of, say, and this is another key, I think, that we are so afraid of failing, unfortunately.
Mhm.
So I think one of the other main reason is fear of failure is what's also holding people back, and just, say, okay, you know what, this pain is okay. It's instead of going there and making myself ridiculous or losing this job or losing
Mhm.
this person,
Mhm.
I would rather stick to this because this is something I know and I can handle it because I have done it for a while.
Mhm.
So that is because we think that if we change, everything has to be perfect,
Mhm.
but there is no such thing. We have to keep trying. Sometimes there will be setbacks. Sometimes, there will be tears.
Yeah.
Sometimes there will be, fall down. We're gonna fall down, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't keep seeking for change.
Yeah. I think awareness level has a lot of effect. So people who are aware of what is it that they want in life, versus people who are just trying to even avoid thinking about what we want in life. We're comfortable.
Mhm.
I'm fine. I don't want to think about anything else because that is too risky. If
Yeah,
I thought what I want in life, I might want to be a musician. Oh no, I have a job. I don't want to be a musician. you know, I give up immediately because I want to be in my comfort zone. I'm fine like this.
hmm
As you said, eventually I'm gonna lose my job. Eventually, technology is coming. Um, I'm coming from banking sector, and the last 5 years have seen changes that no one expected,
hmm
and almost 20 to 30% of the jobs have been completely eliminated, and it's machine based.
Exactly.
So I think in 5 to 10 years time, you will not need any single person in a bank branch to do your transaction.
Yeah.
In fact, even now, you can do almost 70 to 80% of the transactions online without the help of humans. So that changes in one sector only, which is banking. Now, imagine what will happen to the other sectors. Imagine what will happen to the other jobs. So I believe we are living in a revolution, like the industrial revolution we had 100 years ago. We have another revolution, which is technology revolution, AI revolution now, which will encourage people to change their mindset from having a job or looking for a job to actually being an entrepreneurs, having their own job, working for themselves. And
Ideas.
I think maybe it will take 10, 20 years for people to start understanding this fact, because jobs will not be available anymore.
No. And there will be jobs we haven't even heard of it. We didn't even imagine of it. Maybe there will be some jobs, maybe our kids gonna be doing something we had never heard of it or never existed.
Yes.
That's true. The change is always there, and I think when the technology is getting better and better, I think the change becomes even faster. But I want to also acknowledge one thing, and I think everybody should acknowledge that and that they are normal to feel the fear. Be feeling stress. Feeling scared of the change. Everybody feels. I don't think anyone who doesn't feel that. I think the only psychopaths and the dead people doesn't have the fear. So that's why it is okay. It is very normal to feel that, oh my God, no, I don't want to do that. It is scary. So you have to acknowledge that, okay, this is something normal. Everybody goes this phase. Yes, some people feels bigger, some people feel less, they can manage their fear easily. Some people, it takes time for them to process that fear. So that is normal, because feelings are real. Okay, we cannot deny this. This is there. This is part of the change. If you want change, you have to process all these negative feelings. It's not negative, it is real, but we label them as negative, like feeling anxious, feeling uncertain. So these are normal. And these feelings will never go. Yes, once you keep changing, it's going to be easier for you to deal with these feelings. That's for sure. But there will be always there, even a small amount.
Yeah.
So you feel that don't beat yourself saying that, why do I feel that? Why am I so coward? Why am I like this? No, just accept that you are a human being, and this is totally normal, and everybody feels the same. Even the most successful people had this fear, because we are afraid of failing. So, and the other important element of is also never giving up, because sometimes the change you want might not happen the way and the time you wanted, unfortunately. So, for example, 92% of the New Year resolutions apparently, after 1 month, people stop, pursuing their, because what the reason is, because they have one or two setbacks. Just because they didn't stick to their diet for 1 or 2 or 3 days, they said, okay, that's it. I'm a loser. I will never achieve that. So no, this is gonna happen. You will fall down. Sometimes you will have bad days. Just be gentle with yourself and say, okay, today is a new day. Let me try again. Maybe that day you're gonna fail also, but try again. So the other key element is never give up.
I appreciate that you actually brought that, Nilgun. People think that I shouldn't have negative feelings. I will try to eliminate the negative feeling. No, I think that's not the goal. There is a range of emotions. And yes, emotions are energy, and each energy has a different frequency. The key point is how long I'm staying in a particular energy. If I'm in fear or I'm anxious, or whatever negative feeling, or I label it as a negative feeling, low frequency feeling I have, how long I'm spending time on that feeling. Um, if I feel depressed, for example, I feel I don't have energy, I'm down. Let's take the day, for example. If we sleep 8 hours, we have the rest of the day. How much of the day we spending on that energy is very important. If I'm afraid of something and I want to change, I have to change my feeling about it. If I'm afraid, for example, of failure, the only way through fear is through it, right? I cannot just sit down and, oh, okay, fear one day will go. It will not go. I have to go through it. And to go through it, I have to change.
Yeah.
And try once, because my body is conditioned to be in this energy for, let's say, 10 hours a day. Okay, now let me try slowly. For 5 minutes a day, I will have a different energy. I will be courageous. I will be brave, and I will try something new. The next day, that 5 minutes becomes 10 minutes, and I will try again. And the next day, it's 15 minutes, and then it's 20 minutes, until I set up my mind and I stay in the energy of brave and courageous more than the time I spend in fear. That's the time when I will conquer fear. It will be easier for me, you know?
Yeah,
Um, so
exactly.
through the fear, I'll give you an example. I had fear of heights. I still have fear of heights. If you take me anywhere high, you will see me trying to avoid, the window, trying to avoid, but eventually I will go and I'll peek, I'll have a look. Um, the fear didn't go in one day.
Yeah. And how does it make you feel that you go ahead despite your fear? How does it make you feel that?
I'll tell you an incident that happened with me. It's a funny incident, but for me, it was a breakthrough. For me, heights is something that I don't even want to be near somewhere high. So it was very difficult for me. I do races normally. I do a lot of obstacle races, and one day we were doing obstacle races in a group, and it was me, another guy, and four girls running together. And while running, there was an obstacle which was optional. So I looked there, and it was a place where you have to jump in the water from a stand, from a high stand. It was very high. It was like 2 floors or 3 floors. So I looked there. No, that's high. I'm not doing that. It's optional. Let's go. Without me feeling, one of the girls stopped and she said, "Let me go. I want to try this. Looks fun." She went, and so I said, "Okay, we'll wait for her." In 2 seconds, the other girl took her shoes off and she went. The third girl went. And I'm standing, I'm looking. Here, my ego was stronger than my fear. So I said, no, if the girls are doing it, I will do it. I went behind them, and the moment I reached um, to the step where you actually go and jump from, I was like, oh, why did I decide that? I'm not doing that. I'm going back. Oh my God. I looked back and I wanted to go back, and there was another two girls coming behind me. So I said, no, be a man and do it. So my ego here was higher than my fear. And I jumped. Believe me, Nilgun, the moment, because you jump in the water and then you come up, that 3-4 seconds that I jumped and in the water and then I came up, it was the longest 4 seconds of my life. But once I'm above the water, okay, I want to do it again.
Yes,
The fear is gone because I did it.
because you did it.
Yes.
Exactly.
And
That's
exactly at that moment, I had a very high energy of courage because I've just done it, you know, I conquered it. Now, ask me to do it after 1 month, it will be again difficult for me because I didn't practice being in the energy of courage and energy of braveness, you know. So the more you practice being in that energy, the easier it is. And I think today it's easier for me to go to um, high floors. I even went to places where you have, you know, you're on the mountain and you have a glass underneath your leg, so you can see,
yeah,
yeah,
underneath.
you can see the entire mountain down. Okay, the valley. You have a valley underneath you. I'm okay. I was okay to go there. I was
Exactly.
okay to experience that because now I have more courageous energy with me when I'm going there.
Because you've done it, right? This is exactly what I wanted to say, that your sample was perfect for that. Why, yeah, why the reason why we need to go over, overcome our fear, because you see the feeling when you were talking about it, you were so excited and happy, and you have this sense of achievement, right? So this is the reason why we have to keep going, because this is why we are here. Otherwise life is so dull. If you are not going to grow, then what's the point? So the more you achieve, the more you're going to have the confidence and try something even, maybe more scary. Or so the sense of achievement, sense of even you failed at that time, because you tried it, you will have more respect for yourself, and then
Yes.
next time maybe you will try even harder.
Yes.
That is the feeling. It's like amazing. We are here for that. We are here to be happy, not just stay where we are.
Yes.
And yes, because we want to be happy all the time, we also avoid pain. But
Mm.
unless you go through this pain, there is no way you can grow and get what you want. And trust me, nobody wants to be when they are 60, 40, 80, 90, when they go back. Most of the people, they regret for not taking that risk or taking that chance. And we know that.
Exactly. And for me, I always encourage small wins. One of the best strategies to
Mhm.
conquer fear, to conquer negative energy, is small wins. Um, the bigger is your fears, the more you have to break it down.
Exactly. Very good point.
Having very small win will give you that little injection of the energy that you want. I want more. I want to feel more happy. I want to feel sense of achievement. You know, the more I want to feel that, let me do something very small,
Hmm.
and that something very small will give me that small push. Oh, I want to do more tomorrow.
Yes.
And then you have, oh, I have more energy now. I have more happiness. This feels much better. Okay, next day let me do more.
Yeah.
And these small wins, small wins, small steps will lead you eventually to big success without feeling it.
Yes, yeah, and one of the reasons why many people fails to change, because they think that they have to take that giant step,
Mhm.
or when they think about all the changes they have to do, they become so overwhelmed and then they just give up. But it doesn't have to be that way. As you say, small steps, sometimes 1 minute can make a huge difference in your life along the way. Maybe not in one day or in 1 month, but definitely in the longer term, it's gonna make a big difference. Yeah, we don't have to make this giant step, all the time. Small steps can be as effective as sometimes it's better than having this big giant steps, because that you won't have chance to feel this, emotions, fears, and everything. Yeah, that's a very good point.
From your experience, Nilgun, um, what is the scariest point about change?
The scariest
Yeah,
point.
or what is it that um, something that
Hmm.
really makes you uncomfortable?
Yeah, I think there are some couple of elements. Like we are also, because when you change something, that means you're giving up on something. It
Mhm,
can be bad, but still you have this grief for, maybe you are giving up on the people you love, or
mhm,
giving up the job you love, or giving up
mhm,
habit, even though it doesn't serve you. Still, human being, when we give up on something, or when we leave something behind,
mhm,
we feel like, we are losing something. Immediately say, no, no, I don't want to lose this.
mhm.
I think, yeah, that's one of
It's
the things.
attachment. You
Yeah.
mean attachment, attachment to something.
Yeah, because many people, even when they leave the bad relationship behind, they still find themselves like struggling. Did I make the right decision? Maybe it was me. Maybe I contributed. So
Mhm,
it is really difficult to something, because also you've been carrying whatever it is, even it's not
mhm,
good, but you've been carrying. It was with you. It's like leaving a part of you behind. So that's okay. You can grieve also,
mhm,
because maybe maybe you spend years with this
mhm,
person or behavior, whatever it is you are giving up on. That's okay also. And the second thing is also is, what if it gets worse than this? So I
mhm,
think we are really afraid of taking the risk.
mhm,
And also, what if I'm not successful? What
mhm,
if I fail? What else can it be? Even the good change can be stressful. So imagine if it's something really risky. So imagine how much stress you can have. For example, when I had my daughter, it was a stressful moment for me. It was an amazing change. I became a mom, but still it was stressful for me, because you had to adjust the whole your life according to this child, your sleeping schedule, your self-care time, everything. So that was a pleasant change, but it was still stressful.
yeah. Um, sometimes I relate a lot with um, you know, how much I'm valuing myself,
Mm.
or self-image. Um, what is my picture of myself? If
Yeah.
I have self-doubt, then it will trigger a lot of other things. If I'm going through a change and I'm very confident about myself, and my self-esteem and self-image is very high, then for me, the way I will look at it, oh, this is a piece of cake, I can do it. But if that energy is low, if I'm looking at myself very low, very negatively, I don't have that enough um, self-esteem to say, okay, I think I'm gonna fail. That has a lot to do in accepting the change,
Mhm. Or initiating the
or
change.
initiating even the change. Yes.
Mhm.
So I
Yes.
think that should be the first place where you should start with before you do anything else.
Yeah.
Work internally on yourself. What do
Yeah.
you?
I love the people. They will react like this. I'll try this one because I want to do it, because I'm excited about that. I want to challenge myself. I want to see how long it will take me forward. And then they say, if it doesn't work, it's okay. I will go and try again.
Mhm,
That is amazing, amazing, mindset to have it. Instead of worrying about what people will say, how will you look like. As you said, I think self-esteem is a really big role in initiating the change, because you have the confidence, nothing is gonna shatter that,
yes.
because you also agree that, yeah, sometimes we will make mistakes, sometimes we will fail. That's just part of the life, so I'm just gonna see what it will bring me, you know because sometimes, and I'm sure you had so many examples also in your life, that sometimes we have certain changes in our life didn't look pleasant in the beginning, But
Yeah.
then when you go back and think about it, oh my God, because of that, now I am doing this, or because of that, I know this person, or because of that, I have this new skill. So
Mhm.
actually, it is also opportunity for you to get something, it gives you, brings you opportunity. Sometimes we can't just say that everything, even the bad experience can lead to an opportunity for you.
Mhm. You reminded me with a video that I have seen before I even go to coaching. Um, this guy is one of the famous human development scientists in Middle East, and then maybe in the world also. He's very famous. He passed away a few years back. His name is Ibrahim al-Faqi. So what he was saying as a strategy, do you want to do something? Put up a plan, put an action plan, and implement. And then look what happens. Things went well, perfect, continue. The things that didn't went well, change them, put another plan, and start putting that plan into action. And imagine this as a cycle. In no time, you will reach your goal. In no time. And he gave an example of himself. He said, I did this 3 times. 3 times. From a tennis player, I became a hotel manager starting from zero. From hotel manager, I became the most famous human development scientist in Canada. He was living in Canada.
Yeah.
And so it's a great example for me. Put a plan and then put it into action. Then review. If nothing worked, whatever didn't work, put a new plan and then put it into action.
Yeah, many people are successful because, not because they haven't taken any risk or they haven't failed. It's the opposite actually, because they have failed so many
Yes.
times. But
Yes.
each time you fail forward. Each time you fail forward. This
Yes.
is how we learn and adjust, and we just need to accept that it's okay to fail.
Yes.
Yeah.
For me, going back to your main topic, change is always positive. This is the way I accept it. Because for me, whatever happens, happens for a good reason. I might not know the reason, but I don't allow myself to judge it as negative or to judge it as something not good. Even the worst case scenario is losing someone that we love, right? We don't even know what that person is going through. So sometimes even losing that person is a mercy for that person, not for me. It's difficult for me, but look at it from the other way around. It might be something good. So I always look at it that change is something positive. Okay, now this happened. What can I do about it?
Exactly.
That's the question.
Even let's say we lost one of our parents. This is something you can't stop, right? This is going to happen.
Yes.
So what are you choosing to when this happens? You want to go back and cherish the moments you had with your parents and find the resonance in your pain, or just give up on life and become a depressed and sad person all the time for a long time. So again, that is your choice, because if you can't prevent, the only way for us is to respond to change and focus on what is available.
Yes, exactly. Focus on what is available for me and what I can do, what I can influence, right?
And I just want to mention also the values, because instead of focusing on fear, we need to focus on our values. So if your value is to learn, to expand yourself, or to serve, or to contribute, how are you going to do by not wanting to change and doing the same thing you've been doing in your life, whatever you are doing it. So, and everyone has values.
Yes.
So that is a very actually a good compass for you to realize, are you really happy where you are? Or is your fear is holding you back? Because if you look at deep down, there is some values, they are not being honored by choosing the safe place that will make you unhappy anyway, no matter what you do, you know, how much you deny that you are actually happy. So always, you know, find out what are your values and how much are you honoring now.
Which of these values?
Some dissonance, then that means there's something that you should. Is it your kid? Hello.
That's my son. Hello, Anna. Tap. Ah, that's my son.
كيفك؟
قول hello. قول سلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام.
All right. Thank you so much, Nilgun. It was amazing discussion with you.
Yes,
I enjoyed it myself, and I also benefited from a lot of points that we talked about. And I hope people who attended this really had something to take with them. And people who will attend this on YouTube, inshallah, they will also have something to take up with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to say one last thing is that we don't know what we are missing until we step out of our comfort zone. So don't settle for your bare minimum, you know, just because it is working for now. Maybe it is working at the moment, but it won't work. And you will never know what are you capable of until you take that step or until you leave your comfort zone. Thank you very much, Masoud. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much, and have a lovely day ahead.
Yes, you too. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.